Welcome to the program. Today, we are humbled to interact with an all-time musician. Many of you remember the song Obangaina. It was a great hit those days. And she still sings, and she's a politician to be, Racheal Magola.
Obangaina, Obangeyo, Obangaina, Obangeyo, Obangaina, Obangeyo, Obangaina, Obangeyo. Obangaina, 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 Obangaina,
Racheal Magola is the daughter of Honorable Beatrice Magola Zilabamzale and the late Nicholas Magola. Both my parents were teachers. Mom moved into politics in time. A long story short, I am a teacher. I am a teacher trainer. In fact, I'm the principal of Wagogo Primary Teachers College. It's a private college in Iganga for grade 3 teachers and nursery school teachers. That's what I do during the day. And when it gets dark on weekends or for weddings, I sing. And that's where everyone has come to know me, through the music. So I'm a teacher, I'm a singer, I'm a Ugandan. I love my country. I love Busoga.
Wow,
What
that's interesting. Being teachers, I mean, we see people facing challenges today, especially in schools. Yeah, that they said some teachers are not well trained, and then maybe that's why the children are not studying well, excelling in classes. Why do you think is that? Are they training enough, or don't they have the interest to actually teach?
When I was growing up, the teacher training course was 4 years. Along the way, the policy changed to 2 years. I believe it's not enough. But on the other hand, so many things have changed. The family unit has changed. The parents are supposed to be partners in the teaching and training of children. So teachers get children who have been left to whom it may concern. A teacher will not teach a child how to be good. That's the job of the parent. The teacher will teach the child the subjects, but manners, values, all those things start in the family.
Back to the parents.
Exactly. So the circumstances in the country have changed. The world has changed. And the teacher's responsibility is getting heavier and heavier because the role of the family has kind of disintegrated. And that is a challenge now in our communities.
So you're saying actually they are well trained, the teachers are well trained, but the parents also need to play their role.
The parents need to play their role. Like I said, subjects in school only clean up, add on to what the informal education has done for this child. A child will never learn empathy from school. This starts from the way she relates with the family. She will not learn how to share in school if the parents didn't show this child how to share. If the parents are violent, this child learns to be violent very early. There's not much a teacher can do to fight that. So that partnership has been the problem. Yes, training is also a problem. It is a problem. Just like everything else. People, we're not working hard enough to improve ourselves. We're not reading enough. If you pick up a novel to read, people nowadays look at you like, what's he on? But reading is some of the things that people do to keep educating ourselves. So we get students who you teach them something and can tell you, madam, that's not on the syllabus. And you're like, what? You're telling me what you think
teacher.
I should be teaching you? So kids do that. But it's because they don't realize that education is the syllabus of life. So what do you learn and what don't you learn as you go along through the school system?
What do you have to say about our curriculum? At least many have pointed
Our
negatively
curriculum,
about it.
our curriculum has issues because it's very, very booky. It's not as practical as it should be. There is a disconnect between the education and what education is for. Education is preparing us to be in our societies. But people are learning mathematics without realizing that you're learning to go and count your money. Count how many children you can take care of. You know, so that there's a disconnect. Actually, what we decided to do at Walgogo PTC is to come up with a leadership academic kind of training for our students using problem-based learning, where we want our children to know that everything they learn is problem-based. Why he's learning, then how can he know how to teach? So we're doing this in partnership with an organization in the United States, a group of teachers who came together. They call themselves Connect Teach. And they have now visited Walgogo PTC. They come every summer for a week's workshop. And we are working towards establishing that leadership academy for students and teachers. We were very talented. I used to lead the choir. My sister was like the best netball player Uganda will ever see. So we were really part of the school activities a lot. And he would send for us and say, the Magolas, tell them to come. I know she'll find that money. So we did have issues with school fees, but still it didn't dampen our spirit to try and be where we can be.
Okay. Generally, what do you think of the state of women in Uganda today? Have we strived enough? Are we there? Are we empowered?
I think I must acknowledge that over the last 30 years, and I think that is the Museveni rule, there's been a focused effort in trying to give women a voice. We have come far, very far. But the other issues in the society can come back to haunt us if we don't work towards finding what are the barriers that are stopping.
Issues like culture.
Issues like culture, issues like domestic violence, issues like still a lot of men feel disempowered in front of a strong woman. We've had these arguments. I've had this debate with my students, and I was shocked by some of my kids' attitude. They still think the man sits down and the wife brings the food as a point of superiority. They don't separate responsibilities and equality, because we all have roles. Because the woman has the child, the man is the head of the family. Those are roles, but it doesn't mean you stamp down on this woman because this woman brings you the food. So we still have issues like that in society.
But isn't it the career women who are embracing this empowerment? How about the rural women? Are they actually understanding it?
But the thing is, you're right in that. A lot of the educated women have got a better chance because they go into the world, they can earn some money, but the foundation of our economy right now is on the back of that illiterate woman in the village who is still using a hoe.
That you see in Iganga.
The ones I see in Iganga, the ones I see in Namalemba, the ones I see in Makutu when I go out there. Today, a woman is still carrying a jerrycan on her back, on her head, a child on her back, a hoe on her shoulder, and we're supposed to be in the, what century?
21st century.
So, we are growing, but we grow 4 steps forward and 5 behind, 5 forward and 10. We have issues.
What do you think should be done?
Education. We need to educate our communities to understand. Like I said before, education, education, education. When a woman understands that if she had a small garden and has vegetables for her children, they will not be malnourished. Less visits to the health center, which we know many times doesn't have drugs. So there's a whole chain, and there is no economy that can grow fast when the last person at the bottom of that chain is not productive. It's a problem. Countries that have developed fast start at the bottom. We start at the top. We wait for the next time the president will be in the area and he will give us. So the attitude of give, I think has broken the back of and the spirit of people's ability to work. We work little. We work unproductively. We can spend hours sitting in town with 4 potatoes, and this lady says, I'm in business. But she doesn't even know that if she was in the village with a bigger piece of land, she will make more from her garden than to come and sit on the roadside with 4 potatoes. It goes back to education. We need to dig into the communities. What I'm trying to do is to do that through my students, to talk to them and say, guys, I know they think I'm crazy sometimes. Like, you're Mzungu. They keep saying, I think like a white. I'm like, come on. Timekeeping has nothing to do with being white or black. Our ancestors kept time. They knew there was a time for everything. They might not have had the clock or the mobile phone, but they knew where the sun was, and they said, this is time to do this, this is time to do that. So I try to do that through my kids. I try to teach them, show them the way of what I think can be a contribution to their communities.
And you're joining politics?
I joined politics.
You joined politics?
In the last election. I lost.
Are you planning to keep in the game?
Yeah. I want to keep in the game.
What's making you pick up that interest of joining politics? Why is it that you want to change, actually?
The things I'm saying, I realized that sometimes it takes political will for anything to happen. And when you're not in those offices, you might talk until the cows come home and nothing will happen. So I needed to be in a position where I'm one of the people who make the decisions. That we want Uganda to do this. And I'll shout my head off and say, I want my women in Iganga, for instance, let's do this. It takes political office sometimes.
Okay.
My mom was a politician. My grandfather was the first legislator in Busoga. I think it's running in the family.
Some of the challenges you faced in life, your career-wise?
Well, career-wise.
As a lady?
Music, for instance, is a male-dominated industry, and it's hard work for a woman to break through. It has changed a lot.
Yes.
But remember, I started before you were born.
Yes, true.
So back then, if you joined music as a woman, you were considered to be a prostitute. It was associated with loose life and everything. And I think my generation, and Juanita, we were the first to get into music when we were trained teachers. And when we even said that, is something okay with them? So we were teachers, and that in a way maybe helped us, because as a teacher, there's a certain code of conduct that you must maintain.
Yes.
Because many times we'll be in a show and my students walk in.
Oh,
Like, madam, we've come to enjoy your show. So there's a level of decorum that you have to maintain. But women are having a really hard time to break through at the time. Nowadays, there's a lot more girls around. But I'm sure you will know that a lot more girls have come and a lot more go and disappear within like no time, because it is still running on the shoulders of the men who manage the industry, who control the industry. There will be promiscuity that girls will have to face and fight. Some fight, some don't. Some die, and some leave. Those are all challenges, because you want to look good, you want a nice dress, you are in the limelight, you have to look a certain way, and sometimes, honestly speaking, the money you make will not buy that shoe. So a lot of young women have to choose and balance a lot of that. And then, of course, even the attitude of the audiences. It takes a really mature person or good person to see a woman singer and not... I know a lot of parents, if you brought a girl who is a singer as your daughter-in-law, you'll be like, what? You brought her? Oh my goodness. It is there. It is changing. We thank God for that. Because over the last 20, how many years have I been in the industry? We know that there's a lot more appreciation and acceptance of music as an art and as a job. But when you see the comments that people made when Bobby Wine won the Chadondo East, you know that it's almost just a cover-up. It's a veneer. People seem to think a musician is nothing up there. And I'm thinking, duh, wake up. This is the
21st century.
To say, I want music because I am talented. I am good at what I do. I work hard at being good at what I do. You don't need someone to, to get there. And at the end of the day, actually, it has worked out for a lot of young women who know what they want and they get it.
And maybe going back to politics a little, what are some of the things you remember to have gone through during that race? Or what do you think made you, not to go through? If given a second
Some of
chance,
the issues that I found in the race was that a lot of the politics that people seem to think about is not about issues. You don't tell people that your vote is so powerful that it can change your life. In that if you choose the right leader, then the right changes in your society are going to happen. A lot of people will give away their vote for a piece of soap. And it is so monitorized that the poor woman in the village who might not have salt that day to put in her food, that's as far as she thinks. Bar of soap, salt. Challenge, big time. And if that mindset doesn't change, we are in trouble.
Today we see career women failing to balance work and family. They are looking at work, and then neglecting their families. And at the end of the day, losing their family actually. What would you advise them?
I think you've already said it. If you don't balance, you lose out. If it's too much work, you lose the family. If it's too much family, you lose the work. You have to strike a balance between the two. And I'm telling you, there's no amount of work you can do to save your family when it has broken already. So, career women need to know, and many of them do actually try. I know so many career women who are doing a great job at raising a family and working a big career job. Many are trying, but it's all about striking a balance.
Would you be having any role models or people who have been inspiring you in life?
When I was growing up, because I loved music like crazy, I loved Tina Turner. Oh my goodness. Oh, Tina Turner. If she's singing, I won't leave. I loved Donna Summer. I loved Diane Ross. I loved Miriam Bell. But I think my real icon was Miriam Makeba.
Okay.
And then that's the musical side. But in life, I think my mom would be my best role model because she's a go-getter. And many times up to now, things I'm saying nay, she will say why, we're going there. Wow. So she never gives up. And that is, I think, an attitude that if you have, you go far. You don't give up. You know that next step, no, I can do it. And I'm going for it without thinking, but. And she keeps saying, let's go.
For it. Have family on your own. How is it like for you?
I'm like on the road 24/7. I really want. I remember my maid was saying, "Otula kodi," because I'll be in, out, in. And she was like, "Whoa, have you seen someone? It's not easy, but you compensate. Like I said, if I cannot be with my family into the night, during the day, I'll make sure you make some time to do things together."
Okay. And do you have leisure time? What do you do?
The perfect thing about my life is that my second job is leisure. I'm always going out to work, having fun, enjoying the show, enjoying the audience. So actually off stage, leisure is a book, a movie. You know, I find it difficult to like go out. You know, I am still very active in music. Like I mentioned, I'm always back and forth from school to Afrigo Band. We perform every weekend, 3 days of the weekend, sometimes afternoon and night. And for those who ask, are you still active? It tells me they don't go out. Sure. I'm still very active. I've done some new music. I released a video a few months ago called Ontameza. Olwise kikwendeza omubi ow'omulungi alwawo okukimanya tabazaako wakumaiso tulengeza munda mu mpisa maidi n'okusekera mu kikombe baakeya nti yatomeera erike zereka nfumbirwe erike eryange n'erimba laavo yene laavo erikinde erya leero n'omukwano guno zeino empankusimbye baba nditakulaga laavo tiira neeno kyenva kweyendera nkuyayanira ab'ekitachita abangwana ninkulopera ibontamisa laavo nimbegerera kitambo kikyontwika ekingema ninkuotobote wozera baba nibekomba olimwengo ntamiza. A song about love, which a friend of mine wrote. I was thinking this idea because some woman cut off her husband's bits somewhere. And I was like, how do you love somebody and you can cut off their bits? It's father of your children. So the idea behind the song was, you must love somebody so much that you're totally drunk with them. That's the only way to survive. Obangaina, and now everyone calls me Obangaina, it was an idea that I developed from a song that I heard when I was still very little in the village. They used to play Obangaina, Obangeyo. I was a maid of, what do you call them? Perekeze. At a wedding in Kamonkoli. You don't know where that is. Towards Mbale. And this was a real traditional wedding and they were playing. So when I got interested into doing modern music, that song was always in my head. So we did that chorus, lifting that. And then I was like, okay, where was he? He was with Margaret. What's this story about? Infidelity. So I came up with the verses talking about you waste your time when you're with Margaret. You forget your family when you're with Margaret. And because as you grow up, you realize that there's a lot of infidelity in our community. And it's mostly because it's a polygamous community. There are a lot of people will go to church, will have that ring, but there will always be a Margaret somewhere. We've grown up seeing this. So A lot of people enjoyed that song, mostly because I think it struck a chord in their families.
All right, Rachel, finally on the program, what would be your final remarks to our viewers, our women who are watching you right now, those who would like to be like you, who would love to know that empowerment bit of it? Yes, please talk to them.
I think one of the most important things is knowing what you want out of life and then go out and get it. Because a lot of us would want to be educated, but we stay at home. We want that job, but we don't get the skills to do that job. We want a nice dress, but we don't get the job to earn the money to get that nice dress. So if you want something, you need to work towards it. There's no shortcut. There's no free ride in life.
I'm sure the women have been inspired.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure. You've been watching Racheal Magola, the hit singer of Obangaina, and she has been communicating different messages, family to women, through her music. Hope you've been inspired, and it's hard work, according to her, that can lead you to success. Hard work, and of course, having that good education as well. I've been your host, Kara Ashaba. You've been watching The Shift. Keep tuned to UBC.
Obangaina, Obangeyo, Obangaina, Obangeyo, Obangaina, Obangeyo, Obangaina, Obangeyo, Obangaina, 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 Wamala ebiseera n'essente oli wa maguleti, wakula obuleso obwaluka